All right, ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's that time once again. It is Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, 6 o'clock p.m. Central, and you are locked in to Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles. And as always, come on in the chat, say hello. We're going to be drinking a little bit of whiskey tonight, drinking the Angel's Envy finished rye again. Go ahead and pour myself a little glass because I got 3 swigs coming up. Because if you pop into the chat and say hello, I'll go ahead and show your message on screen and say hello back. We've got Cool Frog giving me the peace sign. Cheers to you, brother. And we got Apocryphal for World Records. Good seeing you, my man. And last but not least, pre-show, we've got TMF Squid. All 3 of those gentlemen checking in from Rumble. Good seeing you guys. Take care, TMF Squid. All right. As you can see, I got a couple new comics released yesterday. The new edition of 52 and the Nightwing by Chuck Dixon compendium. Going to be reading those pretty soon. Again, not doing a comic review stream yet. I may have one coming up pretty soon. Might do one for the upcoming holidays, either Mother's Day or Memorial Day, because we might do a little Mother's Day special where I do a combo comic stream and single mother special. Fun times. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the stories of the day. Obviously, you might think that the title of the stream has to do with this story, but it does not. I'm not going to really talk too much more about this. I mean, look, Boy Scouts of America changing its name to more inclusive Scouting America after years of woes. Now, look, they already let girls in. It was only a matter of time before they were going to change their name. The word boy apparently is not inclusive. Not inclusive. So, Roger Crone, who took over last fall as president and chief executive officer, told the Associated Press, quote, "In the next 100 years, we want any youth in America to feel very, very welcome to come into our programs." The organization began allowing gay youth in 2013 and ended a blanket ban on gay adult leaders in 2015. And in 2017, it made the historic announcement that girls would be accepted as Cub Scouts and into the flagship Boy Scout program, renamed Boy Scouts BSA in 2019. Over 6,000 girls have now achieved the vaunted Eagle Scout. Oh, they have to reiterate here, Girl Scouts of the USA is a separate organization that clashed with the Boy Scouts in recent years over its recruitment of girls. Girl Scouts did not respond to requests to comment on Tuesday. Okay, and oh yeah, I never, TMF Squid said what it do. It do pretty good today. I've had a pretty good day. Despite almost like thinking I might be being hit by a tornado on my drive to work, it just wound up being just a bunch of hail. Hail with such a velocity that it sounded like my car was being shot up by an automatic weapon. Anyway, so yeah, that is definitely not our title article, despite what you may think. We have like 9 clips to play during, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9 clips to play during the Gender Crazy of the Week segment. So strap in. We definitely have the They Them Scouts of America coming up. Looks like we got a lot of live streams. Anyway. Okay, so also from the AP, we have this. AstraZeneca pulls its jabby jab from the European market. Pharma giant AstraZeneca has requested that the European authorization for its COVID jabby jab be pulled according to EU medicines regulator. In an update on the medicine agency's website Wednesday, the regulator said that the approval for Vaxzevria had been withdrawn at the request of the marketing authorization holder. The vaccine was first given the nod by the EMA in January 2021. Within weeks, concerns grew about the safety when dozens of countries suspected the vaccine's use after unusual but rare those things were detected in a small number of immunized people. The EU regulator concluded that AstraZeneca did not raise the risk of overall clots, but doubts remained. Partial results from its first major trial, which Britain used to authorize the vaccines, were clouded by a manufacturing mistake that researchers didn't immediately acknowledge. Insufficient data about how well the thing protected older people led some countries to initially restrict its use to younger populations before reversing course. Billions of doses of that jabby jab were distributed to poorer countries. Oh, hey, sorry, didn't notice you there. We got Sanglan86 over in the chat. Cheers. Welcome. Good seeing you. And then I'm assuming, I'm a couple minutes late here. I'm assuming TMF Squid was talking about the Boy Scouts there. And then AWR 4 years too late. Yeah. Because, billions of doses distributed to poorer countries through UN as it was cheaper and easier to produce and distribute. Studies later suggested that the pricier messenger RNA vaccines made by Pfizer and Moderna provided, quote, better protection. Oh, that's funny. And most countries switched to those shots. The UK's national immunization program on that disease in 2021 relied heavily on AstraZeneca, which was largely developed by scientists at Oxford with significant financial government support. But even Britain later resorted to buying mRNA. And now AstraZeneca is rarely used globally. Okay. So, fun times. Also in medical disinformation news. We have Chris Cuomo. We have Chris Cuomo here. You may have seen this. Or here, let's actually, let me bring that back down for a second. Let's listen to Chris Cuomo a few years back. Talking about a certain medicine here. Let's listen to Chris Cuomo talk about a certain medicine here.
People who are injecting drugs for animals and horse.
And people telling them to.
Oh my God.
What person? You talk about cancel culture and who to shame. Ivermectin, a dewormer, really?
They are shaming themselves. No one has to shame them. They're shaming themselves.
No, they need to be shamed.
Yeah.
They need to be called out and shamed, brother.
People who are injecting.
Okay, so there's that. So there was Chris Cuomo a few years ago. Here's Chris Cuomo nowadays.
I'll tell you something else that's going to get you a lot of hits. I am taking a what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up.
It's called regimen.
Ivermectin was a boogeyman early on in COVID.
You couldn't talk about it.
That was wrong. We were given bad information about ivermectin. The real question.
We who? Y'all were spreading that disinfo. And we were getting banned from Facebook. We were getting banned from YouTube. While y'all were spreading the disinformation.
Question is why? Everyone's going to say Joe Rogan was right. No, Joe Rogan was saying, yeah, he was right. But that's not what matters. What matters is the entire clinical community knew that ivermectin couldn't hurt you. They knew it, Patrick. I know they knew it. How do I know? Because now I'm doing nothing but talking to these clinicians who at the time were overwhelmed by COVID and they weren't saying anything. Not that they were hiding anything, but It's
Wait,
cheap.
what?
It's not owned by anybody, and it's used.
Not that they were hiding anything. No, there literally were people all over the internet talking about this. There were clinicians. There were medical professionals talking about this. But you and CNN in your ilk were trying to make the president of the United States look crazy. You were trying to make Joe Rogan look crazy. You were trying to make anyone who had an alternative to that other medicine we were just talking about in the other story. You were trying to make them look crazy. But now you're just admitting, no, I take it. It's fine. We called Joe Rogan a weirdo. Said people were taking horse medicine. But now I take it in a regimen. Regimen, that's the word, man. Does this dude want us to forget he pushed for doctors getting their licenses revoked because they weren't using what the government wanted them to use? Yeah. Of course. Of course. They all want us to forget. I mean, you remember there was that whole news article, that opinion piece. What was that? The Washington Post posted about, oh, we should all forgive and forget. Yeah, we don't forgive and we don't forget. That's why I'm playing this.
As an antimicrobial, antiviral in all of these different ways, and has been for a long time.
For malaria for over almost 20 years.
Yeah. So, and my doctor, who is now my doctor, was using it during COVID on her family and on patients.
Oh, imagine
and
that.
It was working for them. So they were wrong.
So this is what I'm saying. Ask your doctor. Thank you, YouTube. That's my advice. Ask your doctor. And if your doctor was doing that, and while you were on TV saying only crazy people do that, hey, I don't know what to say.
To play scared on that. Didn't know that at the time.
Yes.
Know it now. Admit it now. Reporting on it now.
Yes, New York did that. Sanglant 86. Yeah, New York did that. In fact, one of the early outbreaks here in my state of Kansas was a care facility where older and medically vulnerable people were basically placed in a care facility with COVID patients. The COVID patients were being sent there. Here's another story I'm not going to really get too much into, but I thought it would be worth talking about. Bobby Kennedy Jr. his campaign has now talked about the fact that RFK Jr. had once had a brain worm. They say brain worm, but it's just a parasite, a brain parasite. More than a decade ago, but has fully recovered, his campaign said, after the New York Times reported about the ailment. Kennedy traveled extensively to Africa, South America, and Asia in his work as an environmental advocate, and in one of those locations he contracted a parasite. The issue was resolved more than 10 years ago, and he is in robust physical and mental health. Yeah, that's a good question, Apocryphal World Records. I did not watch. I just saw that little clip going viral. I'm going to try to catch that PBD podcast later. Speaking of things to catch and things that people need to research more, if you were here early for the show, I did a few little slides during the countdown to the show as a tribute to Terrence Yakey. Terrence Yakey, I think it was 28 years ago today, was murdered. And if you don't know the story of Terrence Yakey, I would definitely advise everyone to just take a look at the suspicious manner in which he died, and the even more suspicious manner in which his death was investigated. and then determined to be, you know, just your average murder. So yeah, I'm gonna check into that PBD podcast later. Sanglin86 says, I still say Congress was taking it before the flu was released. Maybe. I do know, wasn't there a senator that died or something of COVID? Let's see. Today we had a vote on the Marjorie Taylor Greene motion to oust Speaker Johnson, and of course it was shot down quickly. There were audible boos from lawmakers as Greene spoke on the House floor. Marjorie Taylor Greene officially triggered a vote. Within minutes, it was rejected. There were audible boos from lawmakers as Greene spoke length about her grievances with Johnson as she called for a vote. She asserted that Johnson had not lived up to a single one of the promises he made to the Republican conference after he was elected in October. By passing the Democrats' agenda and handcuffing Republicans' ability to influence legislation, our elected Republican Speaker Mike Johnson has aided and abetted the Democrats and the Biden administration in destroying our country, MTG said. Sanglin86 says trichinosis. Oh, I think, on the Kennedy thing here. Let me look here. It doesn't say. Caused by a worm that got into my brain, ate a portion of it, and then died. So that was revealed in a 12-year-old deposition from his divorce proceedings from his second wife, Mary, who then died by suicide. Oh, really? A Kennedy wife just randomly died, huh? Wow. Kennedy, who is challenging questioning Mr. Kennedy's health is a hilarious suggestion given his competition. Okay. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay. So back to this here. Johnson was on the House floor with leadership team as Greene read her resolution. The House quickly moved to hold a vote on a motion to table or effectively kill the effort. Majority Leader Steve Scalise rose to request the vote on tabling Greene's resolution, which passed with overwhelmingly bipartisan support. Final vote to dismiss Greene's motion was 359 to 43, with 7 lawmakers voting president. Greene's move Wednesday was a sudden shift after she appeared to be backing off her weeks-long threat following back-to-back meetings with Johnson on Monday and Tuesday. This is a developing story. Please check back for updates at ABC News. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So, now it's time to talk a little bit about women. Before we get into the gender crazy of the week segment, let's talk a little bit about women in a segment I like to call psyops, thirst traps, shit posts, and grifts. So, you may have seen that I have been a little critical of Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern has recently released a lot of videos shitting on right-wingers and red pillars and people in the online space who like to talk about women and women's rights and men and men's rights, and how, these men are the reason why women don't join conservative movements, why women run from being conservative. No, not at all. Not at all. But anyway, so she's been posting a lot of this, and now there has been a recent interview article that details the failures of her marriage. And I read a bit of it, and we're going to look at some of the excerpts via a thread from Nathan J. Robinson. He kind of broke some of them down into screenshots that are some of the juicier parts. And we'll go ahead and look at that real quick and see the things she had to say about marriage. So remember, this is your conservative influencer here, talking about why traditional marriage has failed her. So here we go. We got 10. So Nathan J. Robinson says, unsurprising but very sad, conservative trad wife influencer Lauren Southern discovered being in a, quote, traditional marriage felt like being enslaved, felt compelled to rationalize her husband's abuse, and the anti-feminist life was incredibly lonely and made her want to die. So he says, so in the article it says, then thousands of miles from friends and family, she reports becoming, quote, the closest thing to a modern day Western slave. With no income of her own, she had to do everything. The lawns, the house, the cooking, the baby care, the university homework. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any support. There was no help changing diapers. There was no help waking up in the night with the baby. I'd still have to get up, make breakfast before work. I'd be shaking and nervous for fear I'm going to get yelled at. Then he'd berate her for spending all her time on tasks other than earning money. I was told daily that I was worthless, pathetic, dead weight. All you do is sit around and take care of the baby and do chores. When COVID shut down all real-world public life, her situation became hell on earth. It was, she said, the only time in my life where I idealized dying. Welcome to everyone's fucking life, lady. I mean, seriously, did you think getting married would just be you with your feet up getting pampered all the time? You have to do the cooking, the baby care, the housework. Anyway, let's continue. There were warning signs from early on. If I ever disagreed with him in any capacity, he'd just disappear for days at a time. I remember there were nights where he'd call me worthless and pathetic. Then I'd get in this car and leave. Wait a minute. I thought you said you were a slave. Slaves can't just leave. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. But she didn't see them thanks to the simplified anti-feminist ideology she'd absorbed and promoted. I had this delusional view of relationships that only women could be the ones to make or break them, and men can do no wrong. So she didn't spot the red flags, even as they grew more extreme. He'd lock me out of the house. I remember having to knock on the neighbor's door on rainy nights because he gets upset and drive off without unlocking the house. Wait a minute. What? It was very strange to go from being this public figure on stage with people clapping to the girl crying, knocking on someone's door with no home to get into, or being abandoned with a baby. Wait a minute. You didn't have a key to your own fucking house? Or did you leave without your key? Did you storm off and say, okay, we're done, we're breaking up, take the fucking key and walk off? This is real sus to me. This is real sus to me. How did you leave without a key to your own house? She tells me she's not alone. She tells me she knows of many other women still suffering in unhappy trad life marriages. Really? One of her WhatsApp groups, she says, is like the underground railroad for women in the conservative movement. So be on the lookout for more of these lovely ladies posting this kind of crap on Twitter. Some of these are prominent media figures. There are a lot of influencers who are not in good relationships who are still portraying happy marriage publicly and bashing people for not being married while being in horrendous relationships. She hopes that in speaking out, she can reassure all these women who are thinking in their heads, I'm uniquely terrible and uniquely making a mistake, that no, something is more generally amiss. So not only am I not loyal to my husband, you ladies could be too, because you're living a nightmare. All of this was, Southern tells me, difficult to square with her religious beliefs. She would pray by his bed when he was angry with her, hoping that if she gave him grace, one more time, he'd realize the depth of her love and be kinder. And if this didn't work, she was encouraged to persist by way of the online life that conditioned these beliefs into listicle form. Listicle. Oh, see, Cool Frog says modern day slaves have rights, don't you know? Yep. Oh, and modern day slaves also don't have a key to the house, but they're required to ask the master to let them in, and the master has to let them in. So she chose someone who probably isn't a good man, and now it's everyone else's fault. Yes. Yes. Literally. It's all trad wife conservatism is bad because she picked a bad guy. And again, there's a lot of commenters talking about the racial component because she was in an interracial relationship, apparently, something like that. I think. I don't buy into that. I think gentlemen of all races have the capability of being bad. It's just, it is what it is. Anyway, he discovered distilling religious traditionalism into viral bullet points does not provide an adequate framework for navigating the complexities of a real-world marriage. Oh, wait a minute. You thought being married would be like an internet article? Oh, you thought being married would be like an internet article. Okay, she told me that as long as I put on the high heels and lipstick when my husband comes home, as long as I cook the best meal, as long as I'm always submissive and say yes sir, whatever you want, things will go fantastic. And if it's not fantastic, the listicle version of traditionalism would just say she should make more effort. It was, she says, an embarrassing wake-up call, finding myself consistently applying these rules and instructions I found on Twitter and then never getting the results in the real realm of relationships. Okay, so there's that. And then one last part here. When she first announced her marriage, she says she'd been lauded by friends and fans. Then when she announced her separation, she was inundated with messages lamenting how her life was ruined. But in both cases, the exact opposite was true. Post-divorce, after becoming a single mother, my mental health started to improve. I started to repair all these really important friendships, and I'm living a much happier, much healthier life than I was before. Some of the most miserable people I've met, in fact, absolutely the most miserable people I've met, have been stuck in this weird LARPy trad dynamic. The happiest people she knows, on the other hand, are just living in reality. TMS Squid says this is like the hose on FB saying shit like my baby's daddies ain't shit, bitch. No one forced you to let losers treat you like a semen dumpster. Yeah. Okay, so that was that. Again, here we are. You have Lauren Southern, who for the longest time has been LARPing as a conservative, and now she's taken the mask off and going full feminist. She still claims to be a conservative influencer of some sort, but what conservative values is she promoting now? That other conservatives are just nasty and evil. I mean, she's going after all the male conservative figures and calling them sex pests and this and that and calling them grifters and now she's going over after trad marriage. Anyway, so now let's get into a couple viral videos. Dear Lord, we're already halfway through the show and we still have like 12 videos to watch here. Better get on with it. See this chick? Throwing is a good way to release. As a here. This is anger management, folks. This is her dealing with her anger. I mean, she's not out of ice, but not done yet, and she has to pick more back up and throw it again. I mean, look, she's not fat, at least not super fat. She's not really fat. Otherwise, I just suggest go to the gym. Go to the gym and fucking just get it out, or go to the park. I mean, I guess if she's a single mother, she can't just go to the gym every time she wants, but let's see. Tell that to the guys dragged through town on a cart so everyone knew they could throw rotten vegetables at them. Yeah. Well, that's what she's trying to do, right? This is a low key, as all these women tend to do. This is a low key way to to call her ex-husband out, right? This is a way to get her ex-husband canceled on the internet. All right, so let's do this. Let's get started with the you know what time it is. Time for the gender crazy of the week. Now, the rest of our show is pretty much going to be this gender crazy of the week, because this has been just a week where those people have just went crazy on the internet. And of course, you got this woman here.
Straight people are getting too comfortable. I said what I said. Some things are not yours to talk about, joke about, or say. And you should go back to being deathly afraid of offending people. Straight.
Okay. So here's the thing. I don't think the majority of us, and by us, I mean people who are willing to talk about these things on the internet, those who are willing to talk about these things in our everyday life. I don't think, see, let's go back. I don't think we've ever been deathly afraid of offending people. On the contrary, we were trying to be fucking nice, right? That short period of time where we stopped calling you weirdos and F slurs, that short period of time was because we were trying to be nice. You took that as an act of submission and started these bully tactics. And so the idea, let's see here. TMF Squid says probably postpartum depression. I'm assuming he means Lauren Southern just needs to learn to put the baby down and do an in-house work. Oh no, the chick with the ice. Do an in-house workout. Yeah. And then Sangalai wants to know when this chick's going to sing. Yeah. Well, you know, when her girlfriend lets her, right? Because even though we just did a story where there were allegations of abuse, we know that these type of people tend to do that. Anyway, so yeah, we are not afraid of offending people. If anything, the rest of this show should show you that it's not straight people who are feeling too comfortable opening their fucking mouth. It's people like this.
We are launching the largest national 2S LGBTQI plus advocacy campaign that this country has seen in over 20 years. From May 11th to 17th, we are leading a national Rainbow Week of Action, featuring 18 rallies in big cities and small towns all across this country, and dozens of related events. Together with workers, with parents, with feminists, and everyday Canadians who believe in freedom and equality, we are taking to the streets and speaking our truth to power. We are launching the largest.
Okay, so we got that. That was Faye Johnstone in Canada, right? Faye Johnstone. Yeah, he's announcing that they're just going to ramp up the same bullshit that they've been doing. That they're going to continue with events and activism and visibility, blah 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 blah. Who cares? But no, I brought that up because let me just say, Dave Mustaine and Megadeth really fell off, right? I'm just kidding. But no, he obviously doesn't like the fact that I'm saying certain words, and will continue to rant angrily in front of podiums, just like that last person, the previous person, just to make us feel uncomfortable. Speaking of feeling uncomfortable, let's go to this individual for a moment. You know who this individual is. This individual was in a couple of X-Men movies, right? A couple big Hollywood films. And still, to this day, insists that despite the clear, painful look on their face, the clear pain here, that they are indeed happier now than they were then.
often called like niche, queer things niche. 30% of young people identify as LGBTQ plus. So I'm like, I'm sorry, this is not niche. You tell really specific stories about like cis.
Okay, well, that depends on A, how you define young people, how you identify the word identify. Let's see, TMS Squid, they have Day of Silence turned the whole month of June into Pride Month. What the fuck else do they want? They literally want us all to shut the fuck up and just like make 24/7 every video, every YouTube, every TV show, they won't stop. They won't stop. Even though they dominate every conversation, right? Granted, we still have a lot of conversations about feminism and women, right? But really, they want us. I'm a guy who's just had a rant about women and the Lauren Southern thing. They want us to stop talking about Lauren Southern, stop talking about marriage and divorce, and just talk about their genitals and lack thereof, right? And stop talking to our children about the importance of our children's lives and just make it about our children's gender. Yes, Apocryphal World Records. They want to eat the children.
This het people. I'm not calling that odd plot niche. Thank you.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta go back to that.
I'm sorry, this is not niche. You tell really specific stories about like cis het people. I'm not calling that odd plot niche.
Really specific stories about cis het people, calling that plot niche. No, here's the thing. People with sexual kinks or whatever the fuck you're talking about, like they are niche, right? And I think those people would agree that it's a fringe movement. It's weird. It is so weird. Oh my God. It's so weird. Oh my God. I sound like one of them for a minute. That video we showed like a couple months back, it's weird. No, anyway. But no, it is. It's really odd. Anyway, I fucking lost my thought here. Let's look at this person.
Transgender people want to play sports so bad they should just create their own league.
Yes, legitimately yes. Oh, sorry, volume was down. I'll restart it. Sorry about the volume.
Until transgender people
want
to play sports so bad they should just create their own league.
How?
Okay. Oh my God. So I've expressed this very opinion on this show that, I have no problem with transgenders playing sports, but they cannot play at a competitive level. Now, understand, there's a huge difference between playing sports as a novice or as a casual sporting person, right? There's that. Feel free to do that all you want. Feel free to mix genders. Feel free to have, your beer leagues, your whatever. Feel free to do that all day, right? But when you enter the academic sports level or the professional sports level, right? We need to have rules. They should just create their own league. How? Well, I just said you start with a beer league, right? Or you start by having conversations. We just heard our good friend Ellen Page over there tell us that this isn't a fringe movement, that there's 30% of y'all out there, that 30% of us are you folks, allegedly. That's enough people to start a league.
There's less than 100 of us. How are we going to create an entire league for transgender people?
Okay, well, you just disagreed with Ellen Page, so I don't know what to tell you. You create the way you create an entire league is either A, go start a beer league, go talk to your friends, go get the other weirdos to sign up, talk to other schools, get it regionally, right? Even if you can only play one game a year, it's better than sitting on your ass or forcing other people to do shit they don't want to do. I'm tired of playing your games.
With only 100 people. And what sport's it going to be? We only get to play one sport?
No, you legitimately, you could have a whole fucking Olympics, right? You could compete in 20 different sports. Now, granted, you'll need the equipment. You and your parents or whoever pays for your fucking pink hair would have to pay for such equipment. Or you'll have to use secondhand equipment. Maybe use the pads the football team used the year before or whatever. But you could do it. I mean, you lefties claim to be such great organizers, but yet doing meetups is the simplest fucking thing. You literally have to go on a forum, go on a message board with like-minded people like yourself and say, hey, meet at this park on this day. Let's play some fucking softball. Why is it this difficult? Oh, that's right. Because you're too busy making fucking TikToks, right? You're too busy crying about your status in life to get off your ass and do anything about it.
And is it going to be a trans women's league or is it going to be a trans men's league? Because
Oh, good question. Okay, so again, the one with the beard, I'm assuming is supposed to be someone like me. Hey, we got Great Liquor in the chat over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome, brother. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. So he was speechless there, but you saw I went on like a minute and a half and answered this person's question. But here we go. Here's yet the other question here: is it going to be a men's league or a women's league?
Because I'm sure you didn't forget that trans men exist too, right?
Okay, but again, we were told that binary choices are evil, right? You mean to tell me that as a trans woman, you're concerned about competing with trans vaginal to penis people who might be taking testosterone? You're worried that people taking testosterone might have an advantage over the testosterone you were born with and are trying to suppress? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me you can't compete with those people, but you can go compete in the fucking women's league with 3 times the testosterone they have? You're telling me that's your solution, but that you can't compete with other trans people who might identify slightly different than you, while also telling us that binary is some kind of evil. It's like they tell on themselves.
I mean, not to be rude, but how is any of this my problem?
It wasn't a problem until you made it one.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We had men's sports, women's sports. There was no problem. Right? It was until people were like, I want to take hormones and play in sports at the same time, did we start running into these kind of problems. You made it one.
Transgender people have been competing in sports as long as sports have existed, and it's never been an issue.
No. And if they did, they competed in the sport where their original gender competed.
So you made it one.
Where their biological sex.
Bye.
Oh my God. The fucking, why did you have to look seductive at the end of that? Like, you're literally talking to your enemy and then you give him a horny look at the end. Did you see that? Bring that back up. What is up with, gross. Why do you gotta look all fucking, Okay, so this is what punk rock is about. Put a bullet in a kid's head, think they got a sickness if they're not dressed up straight. But what happens in the closet doesn't matter if you profit from the flag of the USA. Really? We wrote and named this song after one of the governors of Tennessee when the state tried to ban drag shows. And of course, this person's wearing a dress. Oh, Jesus. You're too fucking old! You do as you're told! You base your life off your name! Yeah, it's probably going to get copy claimed on Facebook, or on YouTube rather, but I don't care. Like, come on. Based your life off an ancient scroll. Oh my God. Out there burning witches. Wow. Okay. Yeah. TX2 is the name of this band. Yeah. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is literally just, how can we make a punk song where we just shit on the Bible? I mean, isn't this what fucking rock bands were doing in like the mid 90s? Like, let's just take whatever's in the fucking Bible and let's do the opposite.
Chase filling up the ditches. Tell me, can I still be saved? Put a bullet.
I mean, if you're asking, then maybe you should read the fucking book, right? If you're asking, then maybe you should read the fucking book. Okay, so we got 2 videos here that I have not watched yet, but they look like pretty sad stories. Let's go ahead and watch these real quick. And already we've already got disgustingness on the screen. Why? Put a fucking shirt on, right? Am I wrong to say just put on a fucking shirt? No one wants to see that. Like, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm a man. I'm wearing a shirt. You want to be a man? Put a fucking shirt on, bro. We only want to see women's chests. Not the GG.
This boy just got top surgery and he's sitting there boobless. I'm sitting here boobless. And I want to tell you about the journey so far.
Okay, but here's the thing. Boys don't do this. Boys don't do this. Dudes don't do this. Right? You know who posts to social media like proud of the fucking deteriorated state that they are in? Not dudes.
He goes under for surgery. Hours later, they bring me. They say he's ready. He can see you. I go to the recovery room and his surgeon is crouched over him and there's blood just pouring out of his scars. It's disgusting. And they say we have to take him back in.
It's disgusting. Why is it disgusting? Right? A dude would say gnarly.
And I'm like, okay. His right boob wasn't going out without a fight. A blood vessel popped. There was blood everywhere. They had to put him back under and fix it up. Unfortunately, we lost his armpit hair in the process.
Really? We're talking about armpit hair as if it were a casualty of war. Unfortunately, we lost the armpit hair. Oh God, not the armpit hair. How will I ever recover its armpit hair? Dude. No.
Only his right armpit. The other one did not get shaved.
Oh, okay. So yeah, only one got shaved. Oh God. Oh God. I want to vomit. Okay, so I mean, look, who does that? When I went and had my appendectomy, I didn't go fucking live, right? I didn't go live. I didn't post pictures. Shout out in the chat if you've had surgeries where you didn't fucking social media bomb it, right? Now women will go hashtag live tweet the abortion or whatever. But dudes don't tend to do that, and look, they might tell some gnarly stories about things that they've been through, and we all do. But come on. I bust a blood vessel and it was disgusting and lost my armpit hair. And it wasn't even the person it happened to bragging. It was the other person there. I'm assuming a family member of some sort. The Munchausen by proxy type situation. Okay, so now to round out the gender crazy of the week. This just went viral right before I went live. So I haven't watched this, but I mean, you can tell literally from the first fucking frame of this video how fucked up this is going to be. Yeah, here we have a bearded lady getting ready to be handed a newborn here. Deep voice, fingernails, beard. Oh, the baby wants no part of this family. It's like, please, just I'll just reincarnate me as a cockroach or something. I cannot live in this family for like the next 20 years. Yeah, the child wants its fucking mother. Its actual mother. This is disgusting. Like, this is probably two dudes. And granted, look, I have no problem with gay adoption. I mean, I prefer that to the foster system. I prefer that to uh certain situations where, babies are sold into slavery, et cetera, et cetera. I do think having two fathers would be an improvement over that. But when you're literally getting women pregnant for the purpose to rip the child away from that woman and then give them to two men, I think we have reached a state in our country where we've went too far down this rabbit hole. There are plenty of children who need a home, plenty of children who need a safe place to live. Not that, some of these homes really aren't safe, but if you truly cared about being parents, there's plenty of fucking children that need a father. You don't need to purchase a woman's womb to do it. Yeah, this baby has the same face I make every week during gender crazy of the week. That there at the end, that's the face of a predator. Look at that. Like okay, so for one, like, you didn't give birth. You're in a fucking hospital bed. Why are you in a hospital bed? There's no reason for you to be laying down. And what's with the fake eyelashes? There's no need for that in this setting. No real woman mother in this setting would be wearing fake eyelashes. I mean, granted, there's some crazy fucking social media obsessed women who might do that. But the majority of people don't need fucking makeup and fake eyelashes to give birth and to swaddle their newborn. This isn't fucking about you, and you're making it about you, and that's a face of a fucking predator. Hey, we got Tim Pool's Gay Music in the chat over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Gotta love that Angels finished rye. All right, one last video here. One last video, and because I have to go out on a lighter note. Those last two stories really made me want to vomit. So here we go. Here's this gentleman.
If I told you that I was trans on our first date.
What? Have I told you I was trans on the first date? You sound like my grandpa. You sound like my grandpa, but you look like you want to be an anime character. Okay, we got some cheers in the chat.
You stay, or would you leave?
Well, here's the thing. There wouldn't be a first date because I would notice you from a mile away. Or, I'd hear your voice from a mile away and be like, yeah, that's a dude. You wouldn't need to tell me. So yeah, that was from Clown World on Twitter. All right, folks, that's the gender crazy of the week for the week. That is the gender crazy of the week, and that was a lot of gender crazy for this week. Took us damn near a half hour to get through all of it. So yeah, we might be doing a comic review stream coming up. We might be doing a little tribute to single mothers here for Mother's Day. And because there's that new song going around. Have you guys been hearing this song that's on all these memes? Now you're a single mom. Pretty awesome. I kind of love it. Kind of love it. But yeah, one thing I do want to say is please check me out on social media and on other, subscribe to me on other video platforms. The links are down in the description. I do want to apologize. Sometimes I get in these little weird nitpicky arguments on Twitter with weirdos because I have to win. I have to win, even though I'm arguing with dipshits and idiots. I have to win. But other than those weird, hey, now I can go bleach my brain. Yeah. No, bleach bit. Yes, bleach bit. The Hillary Clinton. Okay. The Hillary Clinton. Here, let me bring something up real quick that I saw on another account here. It's going to take me just a minute to get to it. So I'll try to keep talking here. Download this. Save images. We'll bring something up real quick that I thought was pretty hilarious and pretty relevant to what you're saying about the bleach bit. Let me see here. Add it as an overlay. Check this out. I thought this was an apt meme for the week here. So yeah, if you're not familiar with the joke here is that there have been 2 Boeing whistleblowers in like the past month and a half that have died of mysterious circumstances. So yeah, got Boeing now bleach bidding their whistleblowers. Fun times. Your comment reminded me of that meme. I had to go find it. Oh my. So that's almost gonna do it for the show. I know it's like a minute short, but I don't have anything else. But yeah, I will check out that PBD podcast with hey, we got Shut Up I Can Cook over on YouTube joining the show. Welcome. Says mild drunk. Well, almost. I've got a little sip of Angel's Rye left. Cheers to you, Cookie, and cheers to everyone else who joined the show today. Good seeing you, and everyone who hasn't showed up in the chat, who might be watching this on demand later. Thank you for coming by. It's been an awesome time. Trying to think of anything else I got coming up. I don't think I have any other show notes. So yeah, I'll probably be doing an extra show sometime during Mother's Day week. It might not be Monday or Sunday, but I will probably be doing a show on Memorial Day. Not quite sure yet what I'm going to do for that show. I will be doing a comic review stream where I talk about some of the comics I've read recently. So be on the look for that if you're looking for some interesting comics to purchase and, are into the Batman stuff. Let's see. Like I said, follow me in the social media down below. If you're new here, please click that like and follow button. Everyone else, please also click the like button. And also, if you're new here, please consider watching a second video. The algorithm really likes that. And they also like it when you share off platform because it proves that you enjoyed what you watched. So please, if you enjoyed what you watched, spread the word. Spread the word. Miles Culture Plate. We'll have a little party here. I said farty. Meant party. We'll have a little party here. Yeah, yesterday was Taco Tuesday. I'm a little gassy. Cookie says, go already, Mild. Okay. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast the haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. I'll catch you Wednesday on Miles Culture Plate. Take care, everybody. Good night.